90% of startups fail for normally one reason. They build something nobody actually wants. So even if you spend 6 months and thousands of dollars building the coolest thing ever, there's a likely chance that when you launch, you'll hear nothing but crickets. But after watching this video, I promise this won't be the case for you, because I'm going to teach you how to use Claude to compress the entire life cycle, from finding an idea all the way to getting your first lead in one afternoon. Today, I'm sharing with you the validation sprint, a framework that you can replicate to find a winning business idea. And the best part is that you'll be able to do this virtually for free. We will use different tools with Claude as the main administrator overseeing and orchestrating the entire process. And the first 3 points that I'm going to talk you through are relatively easy to follow and to copy, but it is from the fourth where things get a little more challenging. The good news is that if you make it past that point, the chances of you building a successful business will improve drastically. So let's get right into it. It all starts with a hypothesis of how you can solve a problem. Now that can be, for example, that people want to buy stuff from their phone instead of having to go to a shopping mall, for example, and pay for a delivery fee instead. That was the hypothesis of Amazon back in the 90s. You will, of course, have a different idea or a different problem that you're trying to solve, and that's where you want to start. And maybe you have a bunch of different ideas in your head that you want to validate, and you want to know which one you should be building. Just start with the first one. Write it down and have it ready for the next step. Because now I will want you to go to Claude. Now, for the purpose of this video, I put together this idea. It could have been any other, but we're going to use an AI SDR, so Sales Development Representative, that researches accounts before every call. Every time you have a sales call, this agent will research your prospect and give you talking points that helps you close the sale. This is kind of an AI agent that researches whoever you're going to speak to and then helps you with talking points, obviously. And you're here in Claude. You can actually use Claude Chat right here, but I prefer to use Claude Cowork because later on I'm going to recommend you to use a skill, which is really only available if you use Claude Cowork. So even though you can do this whole experience on Claude Chat in the free version of Claude, I do recommend you to have a pro subscription to be able to use Claude Cowork. And what I'm going to do is to use this prompt right here. Don't worry if you don't have it right now. You can simply go to the link in my description where you can go to my website and find the prompt right here, which you can copy. Here at the bottom, you can then add your idea, and that will help Claude start investigating your idea, understanding it, and then coming back to you with different questions that it may have. So you can see this is essentially building a startup idea stress test. Claude will clarify your idea. It will restate it in one sentence, and then it'll have different questions that will help you sharpen your idea. And I always think it's a good shout to go back and forth with Claude on your value proposition, on your target audience, on your geographical location, and many other points. So you can see right here that Claude is saying, well, this is the reasons to why I will challenge your idea. These are alternatives of products similar to what you're trying to build that already exists. This is the positioning angles that you have as options. And then here is my honest recommendation of how you should proceed. This is really important because sometimes we're so in love with our own ideas that we don't really look at it from an objective way. And you want Claude to give you an impartial view of how your idea really stacks in the market. So that is step number one in a nutshell. Once you have your idea validated with Claude, what you're going to do is just head back here to my website where you'll be able to find the ICP skill. An ICP is an ideal customer persona. And essentially what this means is that we're going to find the ideal person who will be using the product that you're building or the solution that you're building. So you just go here to my website because I left the skill link right here. You're going to click on it, open the skill, and you'll be able to see right here that this is a lead research assistant. You can see right here, it'll investigate your ideal customer profile. And there's a bunch of instructions so that Claude knows exactly what to do when you install it. And so you're going to go here to the top right corner in this button that says download raw file. So just hit download. And then you're going to head back to Claude, go to the left-hand side where it says customize, then hit skills, click on the plus button, select create skill, and then upload a skill. And right here is where you're going to be able to upload the document of the skill that you just downloaded. So I'm going to do that right now. Once that is done, you'll be able to see that the skill has been installed, has been uploaded, and you'll be able to find it right here. So if you click on it, you can see what the skill includes. In this case, what it will do is it will understand your business idea, and then it will identify the customer persona of your potential future buyers. So now I'm going to go back to my chat and I'm going to say, let's go for angle 2 because that's the 2 recommendations that Claude gave me. Can you use the /research, lead research assistant, which we just downloaded, skill to identify who my ideal ICP would be. And so Claude is going to go ahead, think about it, and eventually it will come back with this. This is the ideal customer profile of angle 2, which we selected, the manager's secret weapon. And you can see here who the title of the person who would be buying from me is, roughly the company size, the stage, the vertical, the team structure, etc. What this helps me with is identifying exactly who I should be engaging in conversations with to sell my products. So now we go to point number 3. You have your business idea sort of validated with Claude. You have your ideal customer persona already defined. Now you need to find where they actually are. Now, in some cases, it will be quite obvious, but in most cases, it won't necessarily be that easy. So what I recommend you to do is to use this prompt right here. And again, don't worry about it. I leave the link in the description. You can go to my site and you can find it right here. Just scroll down and you'll find the prompt right here, which you can simply copy. And in this case, we're saying you're a go-to-market strategist focused on finding where a specific ICP is. So just copy it and then add right here at the bottom what your ICP actually is. And what's going to happen is that Claude is going to identify that customer group and it's going to say, well, your ICP is most likely on LinkedIn, or you're most likely going to be able to find your customer persona via Google Ads or via YouTube tutorials or via TikTok videos. Whatever it may be, you might want to tap into that. This is just a way of getting to your ideal customer persona a little bit faster. But now we go into the fourth and arguably the most difficult step, because in the first 3 points, we covered the business idea, then the customer persona, and then how to get to the customer persona. But now we're moving into actual validation territory. And this is what the scary part really is, because most people naturally are a little bit afraid of rejection. It's normal. You've had this baby of an idea that you've cherished for so long, and now it's getting to the time for you to put it out into the world. And of course, you don't want to have a random stranger saying, oh, that idea sucks. I will never buy from you. So you try to withhold that information as long as possible. But trust me, you want to put your idea out there as fast as you can, because it will help you get feedback and, most importantly, validation. So how do you get your business idea actually validated without having to spend time and money building it? Well, you're going to go to this website called leadlanding.dev, which I'll leave the link in the description, but you can also find it in that same blog. And essentially, this is a way to create a landing page with just a prompt that actually allows you to then collect leads and see analytics from it. And this is important because it will allow you to literally put an idea out into the market, share it with the people that you perhaps may want to sell to, and say, hey, are you interested in this? And if so, just drop your name and email and I'll be in touch. So this is what you'll want to do. You can see what the website looks right here once you sign up. And what I'm going to do is I will add some text that says, create a landing page to promote the following idea. And then I'm just going to paste my idea and I'm going to hit go. And you will see that this is relatively fast. Within 45 seconds, normally it's built. And voila, I have it right here. Prospect Flow AI. Okay, so this is not a name that I would have thought of, but hey, it built a name for me, which is great. You can see here, this is the most important part that I was mentioning. It comes with a form built in, which is amazing because what you want to do is collect people's interests. And then you can see right here, without me giving much information, he sort of assumed used AI to kind of put the whole website together in one prompt. And it's adjustable to different types of devices, which is great. So I don't have to worry about design or anything like that. If you go here to the left-hand side, you will see that you can ask for changes and you can add images as well. So you can personalize it. I'm not going to waste any time doing that. I'll then go here to lead form. And you can see that I can adjust the form as I wish. I can add a different field or change the text around it. In this case, I'm just going to add company and I'm going to say it's required and I'm going to update the form. So you can see right here, company has now been added to the form. Great. Now, the most important thing and the best thing is the fact that you can publish it with one click. So I'm going to hit publish and I'm going to go here and I'm just going to call it AI sales so that my URL is AI sales leadlanding.dev and I'm going to click publish. And just like this, my website is live. Yep, there you go. So literally in 2 minutes, I just prompted my idea and it sort of created my whole website. I have my form. You can see here it's interactive. So if I click buttons, they work. and it's fantastic. And one more thing that's really cool about this is that if you go here, if you click on leads, you'll be able to see your leads, the leads that submit your form. But here you can see my pages. So you can see I have the page that I went live right here, and I can just take it down if I want to. And I have other pages live. You can see here analytics as well. So I created a page for Claude Code, and the analytics give you the percentage of people that submitted a lead versus how many of them saw your page, which is really helpful. I can see here which days I got the leads and my traffic. I can see where the traffic is coming from. I can also see what types of devices people are using to access my landing page and which countries they're coming from. So all of this is very helpful, and you can then obviously click on the leads, see your leads, export them into a CSV to get in touch with them in the future. So the crux of it is that you go from using Claude to spar on your business idea. You then use Claude to identify who your ICP, your ideal customer persona, is. You then go to Claude and say, find me where these people are. Are they in Facebook groups? Are they in Reddit threads? Where are they? And then you build a landing page that can capture the interest of people. Once you have all these 4 steps, you can then go to market. So you can do this whole thing literally within an hour. And then you naturally end up in step 5, which is your product worth building or not? What you want to do is to put your landing page in front of 100 people of your target audience. It is not 100 friends and families and people who naturally like you, but people who would be perfect in your case scenario to actually use your product every day or every week or every month. And then what you will validate is, out of the 100 people within the target audience, what percentage of them actually left you with their name and email? And there are some benchmarks that you can assess your idea against. Now, of course, pinch of salt, every idea is different. If you're building a fintech, it's one thing. If you're building a service business, it's a completely different thing. But if, for example, you push it to an audience that is your target audience, and less than 10% of people who see the page leave you with their email and name, it may not be the greatest of signs. But if you push it to a group of 100 people, and between 10 and 20% actually leave you with their email, which is a low friction point, but it's still a little bit of friction, and it's a necessary friction, it might be a good thing. If more than 20% of people actually leave you with their details, then it's an excellent sign, and you should be going ahead and building it. But then there is another way of doing it. What if you actually want to put a little bit of money behind it? So money behind some Google ads or Meta ads, $10, $25, $50, so that in a couple of days you already have enough traffic to your landing page so that you can understand whether the business idea is valid or not. Well, then you have to look at 2 metrics. One is CTR. So the people that see your creatives, that see your ad, that see your value proposition, how many of them click? And generally, if less than 3% of people click, it may need refining. If it's over 3%, however, you're in good territory. If it's for some reason over 7%, you are most likely golden. But don't get discouraged if you see less than 3%, because chances are maybe it's just the fact that the way you're communicating the message is not the best, or it's not really resonating with the customer. This becomes a bit more of being good at doing ads as opposed to being good at building a business. And then you track the second layer of it, which is when people actually get to your page, they're most likely already part of your target audience. How many of them are actually giving you their name and email or some other information that you're asking? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? And then you have to sort of assess whether it's enough people or not. And then from that point, you will be able to decide whether you want to build this, whether it's worth spending time and money building this or not. And by the way, I mentioned you should be pushing it to 100 people for a matter of simplification. At the end of the day, you can push your landing page to as many people as you want. Maybe 500, maybe 1,000. It really depends on your reach and your ability to push your idea out there. And the most beautiful thing about this validation sprint is the fact that if you get to step 4 and things don't quite work out, you can just jump back to step 1 and try a different idea, try a different ICP, try a different method of distribution, and also just create a new landing page with a prompt, launch it, and put it out there. You'll be able to see very quickly if people are interested or not. And one of the things I realize is that most founders become so in love with their own idea that they don't see the signs. And you should be able to have enough grit that if you see the signs not quite clicking, and people not being quite interested in your initial idea, you can just go for a different idea. I'm sure that you have so many things in your brain that are like, oh, this could work and that could work. If you have 10 ideas, test them all and see which one gets the best results. From that point, you are able to make a valid, data-driven decision on what's going to yield the best results in the shortest time frame. And after you go through all of this process, you get to the last step, which is to actually start building your product. The good news is that you will most likely, at this point, already have a wait list because you will already have people who submitted their interest. And this is amazing because you'll be able to build your product relatively fast with Claude Code, and you'll be able to start selling to those people. You will also already understand the distribution channel that works best because at this point, you already know where your customers live because you already collected initial leads. If it was on X, if it was on YouTube, if it was on Google, you already know where they are, so you can go to market much faster. If you want to start learning about Claude Code, if you've never built a product before, I made this video here with the basic instructions of how to use Claude Code, how to set it up, how to download it, and how to get going from a beginner level. And if you already kind of know how to use Claude Code, I made this video right here, which is how to build an app using Claude Code, which is most likely what you'll want to be doing. Once you do all of that, I know it's a lot of steps, but once you do all of that, you want to buy a domain and publish your website to the web, ideally for free. So I made this other video on how to use Vercel, which is a hosting platform, to essentially host your website for free so you don't have any recurring costs on a monthly basis and can have your website live. So you can check it out. I'll leave the link in the description as well. And of course, if this is a lot and you have an idea that you're absolutely sure it's going to work and you're like, Nas, I need your help. Can you help me build it? Yes, I can. You can just reach out via my website, sellingwithnas.com, and we can hop on a call and I can see if I can help you bring that idea to life. That's going to be everything in today's video. Hopefully you found enough value to give it a like, to comment down below, and to subscribe to the channel because I have a lot more cool content coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.